Broadcasting from the great state of Texas, news and views with a Lone Star perspective. You can sound off during the show by sending Chad a text at 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Or call in at 1-800-687-0790. Now, here's Chad Hasty.
Lubbock, Amarillo, Abilene, Wichita Falls, Midland, Odessa, Dallas, Fort Worth, down in Houston, over in El Paso, and anywhere else inside or outside the great state of Texas, wherever you may be listening. Welcome into the Chad Hasty Show. Glad to have you with us on the program today. Oh my goodness, we have so much to talk about on this Monday, February 2nd of 2026. Can you believe we're already in a brand new month? Can you believe it? We've arrived in February, and it's let me tell you something, folks. Time is it's going to start really going now. When it comes to election season, it's you're going to start seeing and hearing a lot more political ads. You're going to start seeing and hearing a lot more from the candidates out there, and of course, you're also going to be some of these campaigns that have been a little dead, a little boring. Elbows, if they haven't been thrown already, they're about to be. Gloves will start coming off very, very soon, and there's already panic in the water, panic in the air, panic everywhere for the Republicans in Texas after the big loss over the weekend in that special election in the Metroplex, usually a reliably red area that went, I think, 17 percentage points for Donald Trump, swung to the Democrats over the weekend. It was a very special election. Now, the winner to fill that Senate District 9 seat, that winner will not actually cast a ballot in the Texas Senate, at least not in this term, because, the Texas Senate is not meeting. And there's going to be another election in November. This election was just to fill the term of Senator Kelly Hancock, who is the acting Texas Comptroller and who's also running for Texas Comptroller. And so, and he probably would never have taken that position if, and the governor would not have appointed him in that position if they thought this was going to be a reliably red area. That's what they thought. They thought there's no way that this is going to swing to the Democrats. An area that has not elected a Democrat since, it's been a long time. It's been a very, very, very long time. And so we're going to get into this a little bit. You've got Republicans nationwide who are freaking out about this. You have Democrats who are excited and giddy about this. And both sides are probably playing it up a little much because there's a long ways to go. And there's another election coming up in November. And so it's not over yet. It's not over yet for the Republicans and for the Democrats in this SD9 election. But it is sort of a warning sign for Republicans who just think, yeah, we're good. We live in a red area. We're fine. We don't have to get out. I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered to get out and vote. So we'll get into that. Also, students across the state of Texas on Thursday and Friday walking out of classrooms all over the place. Thousands walking out in the Austin area to protest ICE. And so we're going to talk about that today as the governor has called for an investigation to take place into why these students are being allowed to leave. And if any of these students are being, if any of these protests are being facilitated through some of these teacher groups that are involved out there, it wouldn't surprise me. So we've got that to talk about on the show today. We've got pro-gun groups warning the administration about the midterms. We've got Margie Taylor Greene saying MAGA was, quote, all a lie. It's been all a lie now, according to Margie Taylor Greene, who I guess she says this because she has not been on CNN in a while. So we've got that to talk about. We've got other news as well to get into. We want to hear from you. Yes, you've heard from everybody else all day long. Now it's your chance, your opportunity to sound off on the issues you really care about, the news that you really care about, the topics that you really care about. How do you do that? It's quite simple. You text in at 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. When you text in, give us your name, where you're listening from. That way we can give you a proper shout out. Also, you can reach out to us on the app. Just tap the app, your station's app. You can send us a message that way. Always enjoy hearing from people on the app chat. And, of course, we're on social media at Chad Hasty Radio on X, also Instagram and Facebook. There's different ways where you can find us, reach out, and ask questions. We got a lot of people who do that. They like to ask questions on social media. We try to get to them. And, of course, you can always give us a call. It's the old-fashioned way of doing things. It's the OG way of getting in touch with a radio talk show. It's by calling in and getting past the very first voice you hear from. How do you do it? 1-800-687-0790. That's 1-800-687-0790. The first voice you hear from when you dial in today, it's Nick. Hello, Nick.
Hello. It's been a weekend. It's been a great weekend. I think on Friday I said it was going to be lazy.
Yeah.
It was going to be a lazy, laid back. It partially was.
That's good.
But it was very productive.
Well, that's even better.
Exactly. It was a lazy, productive. I got to be home, but I got a lot done at home.
Yeah.
That I needed to. That was on my list for a while. One of which, putting together a bookshelf.
Okay. You're building a bookshelf.
I built a bookshelf.
Look at you.
Look at me. It was fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. I do enjoy those.
Okay, good.
It was not an IKEA one. I don't know where it was, but it had about 5 steps.
Okay, well, hey, that's not too much.
Nice and easy.
Yeah.
That's my pace. But it skipped a bit. It did a lot of assuming that you knew exactly what pieces. It did the classic where it shows you a little diagram of like a part of the shelf.
Yes.
Or the shelf itself or the side or the top panel, but they all look identical.
Sure they do.
So I spent most of my Saturday doing the puzzle.
Okay, I was about to ask you, how long did it take?
Now this is the third one that I've put together in the house. So this third time, not too long, 20, between 20 and 30 minutes, not too long.
Okay, because you said your afternoon. You spent your afternoon doing it. So
in order to get it up, though, we had to clean the entire office.
Okay, well, I don't count that.
We had to put everything back. We had to take everything out of the old book. It was a process.
Okay.
The building itself, that only
30
took
minutes,
about 30
not
minutes.
bad.
No.
Not too bad.
It's a 7.
I thought you were going to say like a couple hours or something.
No.
Okay.
No, it did not. It was
good.
like 5 steps.
You didn't have to get on. You had to get on YouTube and find out.
I did not have to do that. Luckily, everything is black. Everything's painted black. So if you screw up, nobody's gonna know.
That's true.
It blends in.
Yeah.
So it was good. It was fun.
That's good.
And then some other chores. It was a good productive weekend.
Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. We had a good weekend. It was kind of cleaning up some stuff, and it was one of those where We know it was, since you were our dumpster that we have near the house, it was like a sheet of ice all the way to the dumpster for a while. So it was one of those where we just, we kind of just, we didn't throw out a lot. We kind of put it just in an area.
Sure.
And then it was a lot of just, let's clean the house this weekend.
Yeah. I think that's what this weekend, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think it was a house cleaning.
It was a house cleaning,
weekend.
car cleaning, truck cleaning.
It's getting warmer.
Yeah.
The snow's melting.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're bold enough, you wash the car.
Yeah.
You vacuum inside
along
the car.
with half the other folks in Lubbock.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Today, your running topic today. I don't know if we've ever done this one before or not, but I like it. I like the idea of this. You're in charge. Whoever you are now in charge of Texas schools. What are the first 3 changes that you make? Yeah, 3. That's right, Nick. 3 changes that you would make. What do you have? You have less than that? Nick's over there going, I don't know if I'd make 3 changes. I bet you could think of 3 changes that you'd make. Like let's say, I'm just going to go from the top. I have not even really thought about this too much. But what about the STAR test? You've got STAR testing. What about courses that students should take? Are there extra courses? Is there a course they should not take in school? Should kids be allowed to walk out and go and protest whenever they feel like it? What changes? What changes would you make? Should we have as many principals and vice principals and superintendents and vice superintendents? You get it. What changes would you make to Texas schools? The first 3 changes that you would make to Texas schools, if you could. If you could, you're in charge. We're naming you the czar of Texas schools, and you get to make some changes. What are the first 3 things that you're changing for Texas schools? You can text in 806-680-2790. When we come back, we'll get into some of the news of the day, your phone calls, your text, your changes that you would make to Texas schools. I know some of you have thought about it. Some of you want some better classes, maybe, for the students. Maybe what should they be taught they're not being taught right now? We'll be right back.
Hand me down the walking cane, hand me down my hat. Hurry now and don't be late, 'cause we ain't got...
The Chad Hasty Show can be heard all over West Texas. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Tune into News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO in Lubbock. News Talk 940 in Amarillo. News Talk 94.7 and 1470 KYYW in Abilene. And in Wichita Falls on News Talk 96.3 and 1290. The Chad Hasty Show. Make it a part of your drive home. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
Cats are masters at using up their 9 lives, like chasing laser pointers into walls or jumping onto high shelves. But the one thing cats never do, text while driving. So be like a cat and protect your one and only life. Don't text and drive.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Buck Sexton here to remind you to come hang with me and Clay Travis weekdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO. You'll laugh, you'll learn, you'll never be alone.
PSN headlines: the 2 agents who shot Alex Preddy in that deadly encounter with federal officers in Minneapolis have been identified as Customs and Border Patrol officers from South Texas. ProPublica has ID'd both men as being from Texas, even though the government has yet to identify them. The Department of Justice has opened a civil rights probe into Preddy's killing, but the Deputy Attorney General stressed it's a standard move. A Conroe High School student hospitalized following a stabbing attack at a high school, the other student in custody. Texas Governor Abbott says he's directing the Texas Education Commissioner to investigate a student-led protest against immigration enforcement actions. The state extends a deadline for people to apply for SNAP benefits. It's because of the winter storm in January. Governor Abbott says he got the okay from the feds to extend the deadline to February 23rd. This is the last day to register to vote in this year's midterm primaries. Election day is March the 3rd. NBA tonight, the Rockets at Indiana. NHL, the Dallas Stars host Winnipeg. With your Texas News headlines, I'm Barbara Schwartz.
Digging without contacting Texas 811 first could cost more than you think. Texas 811 is a free service that helps you avoid damaging underground utilities like electric or gas lines. Every year, accidents happen because someone didn't take a moment to contact 811. Whether installing a fence or working on a construction site, contacting Texas 811 is the law. It's quick, free, and keeps you safe. Visit texas811.org today for more information. Safe digging starts with one simple step. Make it today.
The rental team at ASCO is ready to help you find the right equipment to do the job. For over 65 years, we've dedicated ourselves to supporting you with fast service and reliable equipment. Choose from daily, weekly, or long-term rental options to fit your project's needs. Buy it, rent it, support it. We're on it at ASCO Equipment. Visit ASCOEQ.com for your next equipment rental. That's ASCOEQ.com.
Weather forecast on this Monday evening is the temperatures, we reached the upper 60s today. The temperatures will drop about 30 degrees to the upper 30s for Tuesday morning. On Tuesday, the temperatures in the lower 60s under a mostly sunny sky. The cool front will arrive in Wednesday, temperatures in the middle to upper 50s. The weather is brought to you by Sonic and the All-American Smasher. Meteorologist Ron Roberts on Lubbock's official weather station News Talk KFYO.
Financial news on KFYO.
I'm Dan Loney with Your Money Now. Wall Street with a good showing today. The Dow Industrials picked up 515 points, ending today at 49,407. NASDAQ was up 130 points. S&P 500 picked up 37. The Wall Street Journal reports an Abu Dhabi Royals signed a deal with the Trump family to buy a stake in their cryptocurrency venture, possibly secretly. Emissaries of Sheikh Tahoun bin Zayed Al Nahyan inked a deal with Eric Trump to purchase a 49% stake in World Liberty Financial for $500 million. If you're getting ready to fly in the next couple of days and haven't gotten your real ID yet, you may very well face a $45 fee to get your identity confirmed at the airport. Today is the day that TSA workers at airports are looking to see that extra level of identification. And Saks Global planning to shutter most of its Saks Off Fifth stores as the bankrupt retailer looks to slash costs and cater to higher income consumers. That's Your Money Now.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Capted Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Local events, newsmakers, and information. It's Sunrise LBK on KFYO.
Coming up on Tuesday morning, Sunrise OBK.
Hey, it's countdown to the Super Bowl. We'll talk about your favorite Super Bowl recipes, and Tom and I will have ours.
Hey, also, Dr. Kathy Rollo in the house, superintendent of LISD. Find out what's happening in that district. Also, Cheryl Isaacs from Coldwell Banker Real Estate on Sunrise OBK, the news and talk of West Texas. Tom Collins and Matt Crow, Tuesday morning. The news and talk of West Texas. News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO.
Don't forget about Chad. Find Chad on social media at Chad Hasty Radio on X and Instagram. It's The Chad Hasty Show.
All right, welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show. Appreciate you tuning in today. Oh, yeah, we've also got drama in the Texas Senate race on the Democrat side, U.S. Senate race on the Democrat side here in Texas. Oh, boy. Do we have some drama going on there. So we've got that we'll hit later on. And Trump says now that he's giving serious thought to endorsing in the Senate primary here in Texas. So, again, we said Trump can always change his mind, and he might be doing that. He could change his mind if he wanted to in that Senate race. So you've got this special election that took place in North Texas. And one of the stories out there is from the Texas Tribune, how Taylor Remitt upset a MAGA candidate to flip a North Texas Senate district. Donald Trump won the Senate district by more than 17 points in 2024. Remitt won this past Saturday, thanks to a spike in support from the Latino vote. He defeated conservative activist Lee Wambgans, whose campaign far outspent Remitt by a decisive 14-point margin in a stutter. And it shocked those from Texas to Mar-a-Lago, refreshing Democrats' dreams of a blue Texas and rattling Republicans as they brace for more aftershocks in November. Remitt's upset victory, according to interviews Sunday with half a dozen people who supported or worked on his campaign, explained by a variety of factors, including the combination of Latino and suburban backlash to once fringe conservative policies that may have taken root in Tarrant County and Washington. A MAGA opponent who drove some of those policies and embraced them on the campaign trail, and a message from Remitt that centered on his union background that won over working class voters, independents, and even some moderate Republicans. Up against Remitt was a ferocious campaign fueled by some of the GOP's biggest heavyweights, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick and Trump among them. They backed Wambgans, who is set to rematch against Remitt in November for a 4-year term. And again, that's going to be a different election because you're going to have a full ballot of candidates on. It's not going to be a special election. One of the main reasons why, and you can just look at some of the numbers out there. One of the reasons Wambgans was on Mark Davis's show in the Dallas area earlier today, in which she said about 50,000 Republicans staying home. That'll do it. That'll do it. I think that the Democrat won by about 4 or 5, maybe 7,000 votes. If you have 50,000 Republicans stay home, yeah, that's going to hurt. It's why you have candidates who, they kind of like these special elections because anything could happen. You know, I've seen some who have blamed it on the weather. Didn't hurt the Democrats. Democrats turned out to vote. Trump was asked about it. Trump said, well, I really didn't get involved in the election. He tweeted about it twice. He endorsed Lee Wambgans. Again, there is something that Republicans have got to figure out. When Trump is not on the ballot, when Trump is nowhere near the ballot, people aren't showing up. The coalition does not hold. Now, I don't think that's going to be the case everywhere because you've got different candidates. I've heard from some who say that she just wasn't a very good candidate, that she didn't get out there and campaign as hard as the Democrat did. And if that's true, then shame on her. But this is something that Republicans everywhere are going to have to pay attention to. Now, I don't believe the sky is falling. I don't believe this is a sign that the sky is falling for Republicans. I don't believe that. This was a very special election, but it's not good. It's not good for Republicans. There's no way around it. It's not good. Now, do I think this is a sign that, if Ken Paxton gets the nomination, then bad things are going to happen? No, I've seen that. No, I don't buy that. I've seen some of this discussion that Republicans should just abandon Trump 100%. No, I don't believe that. But I think Republicans have got to tune in to what is the messaging on the ground. I have talked for a long time now, and some of you get mad at me when I bring it up. Some of you agree that going into the midterm elections, most normal people, the normies, as they're referred to in social media circles, the normies out there, the average man and woman who's they're just living their life, taking their kids to school. They're not paying attention to politics every single day. There's a lot of people who are like that they're paying attention to other things. They're paying attention to other stuff. They're getting ready for the Olympics. They were watching the Grammys last night. They're doing just anything but paying attention to politics every single day. A lot of them didn't know that an election was going on. They thought the election was coming up in November. They didn't know. They had no idea. Well, and the election is going to come up once again in November. So a lot of people just didn't know that they needed to get out and vote. But what Republicans are going to have to pay attention to, and this is what I've said over and over again, it doesn't matter if Donald Trump says the economy is doing great. If people don't believe it, it's not going to matter. If Republicans don't run on the disasters that Democrats are and have been, it's not going to matter. The ICE stuff, what Republicans need to be pointing to is the big wins from ICE, how secure the border has been. They've got to do something to change the narrative, to change the news coverage. Somehow, they've got to find a way to do it. Now, am I saying get rid of ICE? Hell no. But by bringing in Tom Homan, this is a way of changing the narrative. Then maybe we can get a handle on things before it gets too late. Because there are a lot of people who, they're for immigration enforcement. Yeah, they're for law and order, but they don't like what they've seen from ICE. And what have they seen from ICE? It's whatever CNN or ABC or NBC tells them to see. It's hard for a lot of people to process that they never hear about ICE in Texas. They never hear about ICE anywhere else in the United States except for what's going on in Minnesota. That's what they're hearing about. So it's assumed that it's happening everywhere and that there are protests everywhere and that people are getting shot everywhere. And it's simply not true. Republicans also need to point out the wins when it comes to the price of anything. Gasoline. Point that out as a big win. Look at what's going on when you fill up your truck. See how much cheaper it is now when you go and fill up your truck When you go and buy eggs, how much cheaper is that? But if people don't think things are more affordable, there's going to be a backlash. And I think that's what we've seen. And I think we've seen a lot of this goes back to the quote-unquote suburban mom. We've heard about it before. They don't like the nastiness. They don't like the divisive politics. They don't like that. So Republicans are going to have to find a way to counter what's going on the national level. And I think one of the ways to counter it is by bringing up all the crazy and insane things that the Democrats do when they're in power. Because while you may be ticked off by the Republicans, while you may not be happy with everything that the Republicans have done, do you really want to go back to Biden-era stuff? Do you really want to go back to the Biden craziness and the woke craziness? Is that what we really want to go back to? Because that's what the left is going to bring if they take the House, if they take the Senate. Sure, they may not get everything passed, but you know what they are going to try to do? They're going to impeach Trump. They're going to do their best to do it. They're going to do their best at just blocking legislation, blocking everything that they can do. So again, I don't think that this election in North Texas is a sign that the sky is falling, that Texas is going to go blue. No. I don't think that at all. But I do think Republicans have got to look at it and go, how do we get our people out to vote? How do we motivate our people, even in a special election, but definitely in the midterms? How do we make sure that our people actually get out and vote? They need to be motivated. You've already got gun groups who are. I've got a story that we'll try to get to here in just a little bit. You've got gun groups that are warning the administration, hey, you know what? You're in danger because of some of the language administration officials have used. There are people who are just saying, we're going to stay home. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that mindset of, well, I'm mad, so I'm just going to stay home and forget about the Republic. I don't subscribe to that way of thinking, but there are people who do. (806-680-2790). That's 806-680-2790. When we come back, your phone calls, your text, and more.
The Titan of Texas Talk Radio, The Chad Hasty Show.
Talking with newsmakers and about the issues that matter to you. The Chad Hasty Show, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Chad's show is also digital with the Chad Hasty Show podcast. The Chad Hasty Show podcast can be downloaded on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and the Radio On Demand page on KFYO.com. The Chad Hasty Show, all across Texas during your drive home, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
When I'm driving, I look twice for motorcycles.
I look twice because motorcycles are easy to miss.
I look twice just in case a motorcycle's in my blind spot.
I look twice at intersections and before I turn left.
I look twice because I want to know for sure.
I look twice for motorcycles because I don't want to hurt anyone.
Look twice for motorcycles. There's a life riding on it. A message from Texas Department of Transportation.
From the heart of the hub city to the wide open skies of West Texas, KFYO keeps you connected to the stories, the voices, and the conversations that matter most. This is the news and talk of West Texas. News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO.
Has anybody told you about Coast to Coast AM tonight?
Coast to Coast is one of those programs that deals with strange mysteries. We'll look at Bigfoot. We'll look at UFOs. We'll look at real science. And we'll also look at conspiracies and what it all means to you. the listeners of Coast to Coast AM.
It's the best in overnight talk radio. Coast to Coast AM.
Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Tonight at midnight on KFYO.
I'm Gianna Gelosi, your Fox True Crime Minute. An Oklahoma mom was murdered and her body dumped in a trash can at her sunny suburban home, and her own adopted son was arrested for the killing. Police say 49-year-old Spring Weems was killed sometime January 21st. Cops found her body after responding to her Edmond, Oklahoma home, where neighbors reported 2 teen boys fighting. One neighbor told local news outlets that she ran over to break up the fight, and one of the boys accused the other of killing their mother and stuffing her in a trash bin. And when officers looked inside, they found Weems. A teenager who has not been identified because he's a juvenile was booked into a Canadian County Detention Center on a first-degree murder complaint in connection to the death. Both of the boys had been adopted by Weems and was their sole caretaker. Police haven't laid out a motive for the killing or said exactly how Weems died. Investigators, though, are interviewing neighbors as the investigation continues. There's more on the story at foxnews.com or subscribe to the Fox True Crime Podcast. I'm Gianna Gelosi with your Fox True Crime Minute.
Chad Hasty Show. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Appreciate you being out there. We've had some texters weighing in. Your running topic today, you become the czar of Texas education. Congratulations. You're in charge of Texas schools. What are the first 3 changes that you're making to Texas schools? What are they? What are the first 3 changes? A lot of folks getting rid of administrative bloat. See a lot of that coming in. A lot of that coming in on the text line. We've also had this. First, change the grading scale. A, 90 to 100. B, 80 to 89. C, 70 to 79. D, 60 to 69. F, 59 and below. 2, change. Second change, no extracurricular activities unless you have a 70 or higher. Is that not how it is now? That was when I was in school. Third change, mandatory U.S. government history and civics in order to graduate. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, maybe take the you gotta take a test your senior year to see if you remember any history and civics. How about that? Can we do that one? I think that'd be a good idea. Texter says, let's see. Crime rate is down. That's another thing for Republicans to highlight. Hey, we've got the crime rate down. There's a reason for that. It's good. Do you really want to go back to the days where we didn't have law and order? People have short memories. They really do. They have short memory. They don't. They can't remember sometimes which president had this policy or that policy, and they just they forget. They'll forget how crazy the Democrats were. They'll forget about some of that stuff. I see so many people who have texted in about students need to learn history. And it's true. I agree. We should all learn history. We should all continue to learn our history. But even short-term history, people forget. Things that happened 4 years ago, people often forget. Okay, when we come back, we're going to talk about this student walkout that happened against ICE. The governor wants an investigation. He's right in doing so. We'll talk about that, and you've got some angry Democrats in Texas. We'll tell you why when we come back.
The Chad Hasty Show, a presentation of Texas Town Square Media Network. The views and opinions expressed during the Chad Hasty Show are not necessarily the views of this station's staff, management, advertisers, or Town Square Media.
When the sun rises in West Texas, that doesn't just mean another day. It also means another story. From the moment the coffee brews to the first step out the door, KFYO is right there with you, bringing you breaking news, expert insight, local weather, and real talk. Not just noise, but the news that matters to Lubbock, the South Plains, and the great state of Texas. When you need to be informed, prepared, and just a little more connected to your community, you know where to turn. News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO.
Funding is available. She says the body camera program will be expanded and deployed across the country. President Trump says he's okay with it.
They generally tend to be good for law enforcement because people can't lie about what's happening. So it's generally speaking, I think 80% good for law enforcement.
Requiring body cameras for ICE agents is one of the demands Democrats are making as part of a reform plan for the agency.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. This coming a little over a week after the shooting death of Alex Preddy in Minneapolis by immigration agents. The Hennepin County medical examiner has ruled Preddy's manner of death a homicide and the cause of death multiple gunshot wounds. It's day 3 of a partial government shutdown as the House still needs to vote on a short-term package that pays for most government services through September and would fund the Department of Homeland Security for 2 weeks.
Taxpayer dollars should not be spent to brutalize and kill American citizens. Taxpayer dollars should be spent to make life more affordable.
House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries. President Trump has urged all Republicans and Democrats to support the Senate plan. The House is expected to vote on the measure tomorrow, but with the narrow margins, if no Democrats vote in favor, Speaker Johnson can only afford to lose 1 Republican vote. A second week in the deep freeze for large portions of the Southeast, with people who live on the Carolinas and Virginia digging out from deep snow, and more than 70,000 homes in Tennessee and Mississippi begin a second week without electricity. America's listening to Fox News.
Weather forecast on this Monday evening as the temperatures, we reached the upper 60s today. The temperatures will drop about 30 degrees to the upper 30s for Tuesday morning. On Tuesday, the temperatures in the lower 60s under a mostly sunny sky. The cool front will arrive in Wednesday, temperatures in the middle to upper 50s. The weather is brought to you by Sonic and the All-American Smasher. Meteorologist Ron Roberts on Lubbock's official weather station, News Talk KFYO.
02790 or call in at 1-800-687-0790. Now, here's Chad Hasty.
All right, welcome back. Chad Hasty Show. Appreciate you tuning in today. Final hour of the program. You can always send in your thoughts on the text line at 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. Texas Governor Greg Abbott directing Education Commissioner to investigate Austin ISD student ICE protest. The governor has called on the state's Education Commissioner to investigate a series of student-led, apparently student-led protests at Austin ISD. The move comes after students at 14 Austin ISD campuses participated in student-led demonstrations against ICE. Now, Austin wasn't the only school district. This happened across the state where you had thousands of students leaving classrooms to go and protest against immigration customs enforcement. You had students in elementary school who were protesting ICE. They were carrying around signs protesting ICE. I looked at this. I looked at the photos of these kids outside marching. Some of them are just dancing around. wasting time. Most of the kids who were participating, I'm going to say about 98% of the students who were participating had no idea what the hell they were doing. They were just, they got to hear you can walk out of class. What are you going to do? You're going to go with the student, you're going to go with everybody else, and you're going to leave school too. And that was the majority of the students. They have no idea. They can't. You're telling me elementary school kids, middle school kids know what's going on in this this ideological battle over ICE? Come on. But then you see some of the teachers who are involved. And I think you have to ask the question, are the teachers helping the students? You see some of the signs that were made. If this was truly something that was just organic and just came up, how did the students have signs? How did some of them have Mexican flags that they were flying? How did that happen? Now, we know there are professional protest organizations that are helping this, but I have to wonder if some of these teachers are helping as well. And I think that's what the governor wants to really find out here is, do you have some of these teacher groups who are helping these protests that are out there? By the way, these are still some of the same groups that wanted students to be able to leave classrooms and go out onto the streets and march. These are groups that are also against putting a copy of the Ten Commandments inside their classrooms. Now they'll write on signs F ICE. They'll do that. They've got no problem doing that. They have no problem saying writing things like F the rich. But you ask some of these teachers to put a copy of the Ten Commandments in their classrooms, they're like, whoa, that's offensive. We don't want to do that. That's offensive to people out there. I don't know about you, but the only people who are really offended by the Ten Commandments are people who don't seem to be very good people anyway. I don't know, I'm just saying. It shouldn't shock anybody. But those who are against the Ten Commandments, at least just being against them in general, it kind of seems like they're kind of bad people in the first place. But these students are allowed to leave class. And then Austin, they were allowed to walk out of school and march all the way down to the Texas Capitol building. I thought we were supposed to protect students. I thought that the goal was to keep students inside the building to protect students from being going outside and doing things and possibly getting hit by cars. What happened? Principals are like, well, we can't physically restrain students. Why the hell not? Oh, yeah, you're afraid of being sued. You're afraid of being called racist and bigoted. That's what you're afraid of. You're afraid that if you called the Austin School District Police Department and said, hey, make sure no students leave, that students would start to call mommy and daddy and get them involved. What are we really teaching kids? Is that something that they need to learn, is how to put signs together that say F ICE? Is that something that we really want to teach kids about? I've seen some who've gone, it's fine. This was a lesson on protesting. The hell it was. These kids didn't learn anything about protesting or their rights or anything else. They just wanted to skip school. I saw videos. I saw pictures. They were excited to be out of school and not have to be inside a building. That's what they were excited about. Meanwhile, it's a serious policy discussion, a serious policy issue. Why would you want to get rid of ICE? If you go and you talk to a student, why do you want to get rid of ICE? Oh, because they're racist and they're bigots. They're a bunch of Nazis. Yeah, where do you think they get that from? They're getting it from the news media. They're getting it from the average person out there who is starting to hear the talking points over and over and over again that that immigration customs enforcement is Trump's secret police. And the kids buy it. You don't have any teachers out there saying no, that's not true. Instead, the teachers just get out of the way and let the kids protest. So good for Greg Abbott. I think there should be an investigation that's done. And I think schools need to find a way to keep these protests. I can't ever remember when I was a student. I know there were divisive issues back in the day. We were never allowed to just leave the campus. We weren't just allowed to walk out and go, hey, teach, I got to go protest something. And I'm pretty sure if we had tried, we'd be getting in trouble. And students don't get in trouble these days. You know, they're applauded by the teacher. They're applauded by the school. And look at you. You did something. Good for you. Students don't have a right to protest during the school day. They really don't. You want to protest? Do it on a Saturday. Oh, yeah, Saturday's when you want to play video games. That's right. You don't want to protest on a Saturday because they would take you getting off your butt, doing something that, you stop doing something that you love to do, and you go protest somewhere. No, you much rather protest during the school day. But that's when they should be protesting, is on a Saturday or on a Sunday. You got 2 days. You can protest before school. How about that? You want to protest at, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning? Go ahead. But during the school day, these schools need to be locked down. I thought all schools were supposed to be locked down for the security of the students inside. We got to lock down the schools. Well, that ain't working. That's not working at all. So, yeah, good for Abbott. Abbott said in a tweet, he says that he's directed the education commissioner to investigate this. Austin ISD gets taxpayer dollars to teach the subjects required by the state, not help students skip school to protest. Our schools are for educating our children, not for political indoctrination. This is one of many reasons why AISD is losing so many students. Yeah, but it wasn't just Austin ISD. It was other schools around the country or around the state as well that did this. And they need to be investigated as well. And I would say, okay, fine. You don't want to hold your students in the classroom? That's fine. We're going to take away funding. No big deal. We can take the funding away. 806-680-2790. When we come back, your phone calls, your text, and more.
The Chad Hasty Show can be heard all over West Texas. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Tune into News Talk 95.1 and 790 KFYO in Lubbock. News Talk 940 in Amarillo. News Talk 94.7 and 1470 KYYW in Abilene. And in Wichita Falls on News Talk 96.3 and 1290. The Chad Hasty Show. Make it a part of your drive home. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
You've got a life to live, and you don't want to miss out on any of it. That's why the first thing you do when you get in a car is buckle your seatbelt. Whether you're a driver or a passenger, Not wearing your seatbelt could get you a ticket, a fine, or worse. Nobody wants that. So remember, if you love it, click it. Brought to you by the Texas Department of Transportation.
From the heart of the hub city to the wide open skies of West Texas, KFYO keeps you connected to the stories, the voices, and the conversations that matter most. This is the news and talk of West Texas. News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO.
TSN headlines: the Dilley Immigration Center in South Texas had to, quote, stop all movement Sunday when 2 of its detainees tested positive for the measles. President Trump may soon give an endorsement in the Republican race for U.S. Senate out of Texas. He says it's hard because he likes the candidates. They are incumbent Senator John Cornyn, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, and Congressman Wesley Hunt. The 2 federal officers who opened fire and killed Alex Preddy in Minneapolis, reportedly from Texas, ProPublica reviewed government records that identified 2 Customs and Border Patrol agents from South Texas as those who shot Preddy. Border Patrol has refused to identify the agents involved. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton demanding Austin ISD's policies related to allowing students to leave campus. He says the district made it easy for students to leave school to participate in ICE protests Friday. Today is the last day to register to vote in this year's midterm primary. Election Day comes March 3rd. With your Texas News headlines, I'm Barbara Schwartz.
Hurt in a car or truck wreck? Call Frankel & Frankel first. Mark and Scott Frankel, the go-to car and truck wreck attorneys in Texas, have been fighting for your rights for over 25 years. Before becoming personal injury lawyers, they defended insurance companies, so they know all the tricks and tactics insurers use to deny your claim. Trust the experienced, family-owned, and highly awarded Frankel & Frankel to put you first and get the resolution you deserve. And remember, it's a felony for an attorney to reach out to you directly or indirectly via third parties within the first 30 days after an accident. During this period, an attorney may only send a letter. Frankel & Frankel make it easy. From the free consultation to the very first phone call, they handle everything with no out-of-pocket costs. They only get paid when you win. If you or a loved one has been injured, reach out to Frankel & Frankel today at frankelfirm.com. That's FRENKEL firm.com. Principal Office, Dallas, Texas.
South Plains weather forecast on this Monday evening as the temperatures, we reached the upper 60s today. The temperatures will drop about 30 degrees to the upper 30s for Tuesday morning. On Tuesday, the temperatures in the lower 60s under a mostly sunny sky. The cool front will arrive in Wednesday, temperatures in the middle to upper 50s. The weather is brought to you by Sonic and the All-American Smasher. Meteorologist Ron Roberts on Lubbock's official weather station, News Talk KFYO.
Every hour of every day, Fox News Radio is there with the latest breaking news and information you rely on.
This is a Fox News alert.
I'm Lisa Brady.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
With Fox News correspondents around the globe.
At the White House, Simon Owen in London.
On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The news that matters most to you. The top headlines, all in one place. America is listening to Fox News Radio.
Heard right here on News Talk KFYO.
Saving you money, I'm Hilary Barsky. Refurbished products are a good way to save money on big purchases. They are items that have been restored as though they were brand new, but many people worry about the quality. However, if they're purchased from reputable companies, they can be just as good as brand new items. Case in point, Apple. The tech giant routinely offers refurbished goods for hundreds of dollars less than their brand new counterparts. The company thoroughly cleans and inspects its products. An iPhone will always come with a new battery and outer shell. Apple also includes all original accessories and repackages the products in new boxes. Unfortunately, not all refurbished devices are treated the same. You must research the seller before buying the products. Look for descriptions like manufacturer refurbished and read reviews on multiple sites. Find out if there's a return policy and look for a warranty. And if there's not, don't buy it. Make sure the refurbisher offers at least a 1-year hardware warranty. Saving you money, Hilary Barsky, Fox News.
Empowering West Texas with news that matters. News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM KFYO.
From the Panhandle to the South Plains to the Big Country, it's the Chad Hasty Show.
All right, back on the Chad Hasty Show. Thank you for tuning in today. You can send in your thoughts on the text line. 806-680-2790. Bill and Hillary Clinton now agreeing to testify before Congress. Just out of Politico, Bill and Hillary have agreed to testify before the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee as part of the panel's investigation into convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, an oversight aide said Monday evening. It's a remarkable reversal for the former president and Secretary of State, who were adamant that they would defy the committee-issued subpoenas and risk imprisonment by the Trump Justice Department as the House prepared to vote Wednesday to hold them both in contempt of Congress. After both skipped their scheduled depositions earlier in the year, the Oversight Committee voted on a bipartisan basis in January to approve contempt measures against each of them. Although both said they had no knowledge of Epstein's crimes, they have maintained that the subpoenas were not tied to a legitimate legislative purpose, rendering them invalid. They also complained that the GOP-led exercise was designed to embarrass and put them in jail. It's not immediately clear when they will appear and if the House will continue to pursue the contempt votes. Quote, if you try to move forward, that would be insane, said the top Democrat on the House Oversight. I mean, that would be unprecedented. It would clearly be a demonstration that the chair is actually not interested in hearing the Clintons, but only interested in political games. I think that would be a huge disservice to the survivors and the investigation. Now, this we'll see if the Clintons actually sit down and testify. And we'll see if they're actually asked any real questions and what they actually say, how they answer these questions. You know, they're both going to be lawyered up. They're going to be very careful about what they say. But if they have nothing to hide, then what's wrong? You know, why not testify? If you have nothing to hide, if you're totally clean, if everything is just fine, then why worry about it? So no, I think this is good. This is good. We'll see if they actually do this. We'll see if there's any type of special arrangements made for the Clintons when they show up to testify. 806-680-2790. That's 806-680-2790. You can send in your thoughts on the text line. The shutdown, Republicans scrambling to keep the shutdown short. The House Speaker Mike Johnson pushing forward with a plan to get a massive funding package through the House without changes on Tuesday, ending a brief partial government shutdown. Johnson met with the Rules Committee Republicans on Monday, shortly before the panel convened to take up a floor plan for the funding bill. The meeting was expected to include discussion of how to handle conservative hardliners' demands that attach a partisan elections bill to a $1.2 trillion spending package. And Republicans don't have a lot of room here. Even in the House, I think they're down to a one-person margin. So there's not a lot of wiggle room for the Republicans on this one. Not a lot of wiggle room at all. And so they're going to have to try and get this thing through. Of course, all it does is really kick some of the big fights down the road a few weeks or a few months, I guess. But that is, well, that's sort of how things have been going in Congress for a while now. Yeah, you just you get past something and you do a quick funding package and you kick the fight down the road to live another day. Let's see. On the app chat, this from Phil. On the app chat, Chad, Super Bowl is being played this weekend. Am I the only one who just doesn't care about this year's Super Bowl? It kind of feels weird that there's just two teams in it that I really don't care about. No, I think there's a lot of folks who kind of feel that way. You know, just kind of about the big game that's going to be played this weekend. Kind of a feeling on it. I don't know. Could be. I'm just hoping it's a good game. That's all I, as a Cowboys fan, that's all I can really hope for these days. Is that it's a fun game. It's maybe a little bit entertaining. Some of the ads out there are entertaining already. I've seen some of the Super Bowl ads already. Budweiser actually has a good ad this year. They do. They got away from the Mulvaney ads, and the latest they've got the Clydesdale in a bald eagle. You got to love that one. That's Americana. Let's see. Nick, it says people are not going to like the halftime show again this year. People are going to hate the halftime show. Now, you're a big fan of Big Bunny. What's his name? Big Bad Bunny. What does he go by?
I believe the kids call him Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I know nothing. Absolutely nothing about.
You're not a Bad Bunny fan.
No. Ask me to name a song. I have no idea.
Okay.
And I know that the last few years, many people have they had strong feelings about the halftime
Everyone's
shows.
always going to hate the halftime show.
Sure, but recently it's because it's all been like what I think is the younger generation's top artists.
Yeah.
Some of them.
I enjoyed the. Oh, there was one a couple of years ago that I thought was really good where you had some of the nod to like
Snoop Dogg and
you had
like the 90s
hip-hop rap and hip-hop.
Oh yeah,
you had Eminem show. I like that. I was like, okay, I was in school during this time.
Sure, and a lot of people
like this throws back to my youth. Sure,
a lot of the fans I think felt the same way.
Yeah. And then you have folks who, you know, if they're just like, I just want to see George Strait up there, then you're not gonna like Big Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
You're not gonna like Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you a name of any of his songs. I don't think I'm the target demo.
And I think I am, but I still have no idea.
Yeah.
My take on this is if you did not like last year's halftime show, you're not going to like.
I can't
even
remember who was last year's halftime show.
I forgot to, but I know it was another big artist of the day that I know a lot of people, usually over a certain age, were not.
Yeah, I can't. I don't even remember.
Oh, was it Kendrick Lamar, or was that 2 years ago?
I don't know.
I don't know. But it's another name that the kids know. That I don't know any of those.
Yeah, I look at the halftime show and go, either watch it or don't. I mean, whatever. Like, I mean, sometimes it's going to be good, sometimes it's not going to be good. Yeah, I think everyone wants their, you know, the callback to win music that they like, right?
Well, I think of like when Michael Jackson did it.
Oh, so good.
You know, when you've got these big like 80s bands, you know, it was huge, and now I'm not saying it's worse. I'm just saying they've shifted a little.
Well, let me ask you this. Is music worse today than it was back in the
well, that's really
80s,
depending on who you ask.
You know, I would say that music might be a little bit worse than
but if you ask someone else, they're going to say, oh, no, I love it. I can't stand music back then.
And then we would have listeners who would be like, music in the 90s, 80s were trash.
Sure. Let's go 60s.
60s and before, that's where it's at.
Yeah,
and then we would have one listener out there and be like, classical. Like just...
Yeah. Go way back.
Just...
a real throwback.
Right. That's what we want to hear is just classical music.
I don't think a classical halftime show
I would love it.
An orchestra on the stage. I don't know, or a symphony.
I think, again, what they should do, and again, I could be wrong about Bad Bunny. I don't know.
No.
But just highlight the music of the area.
What do you mean?
Well, you know how some areas are a little bit like they're known for distinct musical sounds. Okay.
Yeah.
You could probably throw grunge in with the San Francisco scene, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit.
Okay.
So I like grunge would be okay. Throw that in there, or throw in some alternative music. Something like that. Like Bad Bunny, I picture that as a Miami vibe, and the game's being played in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So I would do that. Or why don't you throw some high school bands out there and just have
at the Super Bowl?
Yes. If you're a high school student, you'd love it.
Of course you would.
You would be like, I'm performing at the halftime show.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe you get just some drum lines just to go after each other and have a battle of the drum lines at a halftime show. Because again, no one really cares.
Yeah, but then again, is the Super Bowl not the most watched worldwide?
Sure, it is.
Televised event of the year?
It is.
And so I think you have so many people from all over.
Yeah.
It's not just people in the area.
No, I know. I get it.
Right, yeah.
But that's why I would highlight, like the Olympics, whenever the Olympics are, they like to highlight that area, that country, that area's whatever.
It would be unique. It would be interesting. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun to see. Yeah.
And I think New Orleans does that best. They kind of throw in a New Orleans flair whenever they host. Let's see. The best halftime show I recall loving was Prince. And I heard complaints about Prince. Like, there are just going to be some people that no matter what, they're going to complain. They're going to complain. They're going to whine and cry about it no matter what. This one, the Bad Bunny, he's like just daring people. Like, he's already come out. He says he's going to wear a dress during the halftime show. And again, like he's just wanting to stir crap up. And can we just, to me, get the politics out of it? Just go and have fun, have some good music up there, and that would be fine. I think the real with Bad Bunny, maybe it's just because it's so new or new-esque. People don't know. I don't know him. I can't tell you a song by Bad Bunny. And I probably won't be able to after the Super Bowl. I'm just going to take a wild guess. 806-680-2790. We'll be right back.
The Titan of Texas Talk Radio. The Chad Hasty Show.
Talking with newsmakers and about the issues that matter to you. The Chad Hasty Show, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Chad's show is also digital with the Chad Hasty Show podcast. The Chad Hasty Show podcast can be downloaded on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and the Radio On Demand page on KFYO.com. The Chad Hasty Show, all across Texas during your drive home, weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m.
Let's be honest. The National Symphony may not be in his future, but he wanted to try violin. So you said yes because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more about keeping your kids safe in your vehicle at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Show him you love him. Keep him safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Has anybody told you about Coast to Coast AM tonight?
Coast to Coast is one of those programs that deals with strange mysteries. We'll look at Bigfoot. We'll look at UFOs. We'll look at real science. And we'll also look at conspiracies and what it all means to you, the listeners of Coast to Coast AM.
It's the best in overnight talk radio. Coast to Coast AM.
Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. tonight at midnight on KFYO.